welcome. So in this video, we're going to cover how to increase your average order value using a pre-purchase upsell. So this is pre-purchase. We're going to get them to add the upsell to get the average order value up. So obviously that's the purpose of the pre-sell upsell, is it's going to boost your average order value by offering targeted products based on what a customer is adding to their cart. And so that trigger event is actually going to be when they add it to the cart, that we're going to throw a pop-up on there that offers them relevant upsells on the product that they're already adding to the cart. And again, that's going to help increase the average order value. We're seeing a lot of people take these, and there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. I'm going to show you, before we jump into how to create that in Ampry, I'm just going to show you a quick example of what that looks like. So we have a client here. Let me go to the product that they have where they're focusing on the pre-purchase upsell. So they're doing it on this backpack here. So again, what's going to happen is someone wants your product or wants this product here, and what you have are other offers that are relevant to this product. That would be a good upsell with the product or go very well with the product. So you'll still see here, this is a backpack here, and when we add it to cart, what's going to happen is they're going to get this pop-up that says these products are commonly purchased with. Puts it right there in front of their face. They're going to be able to see these. Now, this specific one is a 3-product pre-sell upsell page or pop-up. You can do it with 1 product if you want, and then I'll kind of show you what that looks like. But this one specifically, I'll show you which templates in Ampry this is and what other templates work well with this. But depending on if you have 1 product that's good or 3, or if you want to split test, say you have 4 or 5 different products and you want to split test them, there are a lot of different ways you can do that. This specific one, what they're doing is the buttons here, it just takes you to the product page. What I'm going to do is show you a way where you can have these buttons just directly added to the cart and then take them to the cart page, so that they'll have the original product plus the upsell product in the cart, taking them to the cart page, ready to just check right out. So let's get into Ampry and I'll show you what that looks like. So at this point, you should have already created your Ampry site, should be in there, and you might even already have placements and things like that in the platform. But what you're going to do is you're going to click into the site that you're going to add that to. This is just our tutorial account that we're using for all this stuff. What you're going to want to do is add a placement. And so for these specific templates for the pre-purchase upsell, these are all going to be pop-up units. One thing that makes this pop-up unit different is we're triggering it on a click that's adding something to the cart. So when you come down to the customize section, you know, a lot of time with these, you're going to do site abandonment or a timer or something like that. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to trigger it on a click. And then what we're going to do is add the class of the button that they're clicking on. So to find that, and I'll just go back again to the page here, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the product, you're going to right click, and you're going to inspect. That's going to bring up this sidebar here. Let's make it a little smaller so we can see the button. I'm using Chrome, and what you can do, basically, you're just looking for the element here, right? And so I'm going to hover over this element, and I'm just going to click on it. Let's do that one more time. Here we go. And you'll see this button class right here. And you're going to take this button class, and you're going to copy that, and you're going to paste it right there. Now there are other options. We're not going to go too deep into some of these other like advanced display, but these are options that you can look into as well. But for this specific placement type, the pre-purchase upsell, let me put that name in here. The most important thing is the on-click and using the class, finding the class on the page and adding that in there. Next thing, obviously, we want to make sure that we're showing it on the right pages. So for this client specifically, those upsells were specific for this backpack, and so what we want to do is just put it on this specific page. And so really what you can do is just copy the URL here. You don't need to worry about anything with the question mark or beyond that for now. But what we're going to do is just show it on specific pages. I would use contains, put that in there. I usually take out any of that stuff so that we just have the domain and kind of the just the URL to get to the product page. We are going to want to do it on every visit. You can change the frequency if you want, but really anytime this is going to trigger on the click anyway, so we want to keep that at the every visit. And then you should have created your event already, and you can go ahead and put that on there and then add the placement. I'm not going to save this one because I already have one saved in there. But so that's what you do on the placement level. So I've got this upsell pop-up one already created, so we're going to click into it. What the system will do is take you to add the specific template that you want. And so this is going to be the next step here. So we're going to add a template. Now, the one that I was showing to you is this one right here. This is the one that they were using on their page, and how it shows up on the desktop. I'm just on a laptop here, but it'll show up how it showed up on this page here, to where it has one product next to the other, and then just depending on, yeah, so it'll look more like that. And then for mobile, it's gonna look like that if you're doing the 3 product one. The one that I want to show you, well, first of all, so that one, another one that's similar is this one right here, 3 tile product placement. This is the more updated one. You'll see this other one says legacy. This is a good one to use as well. What I'm going to show you, most people are on mobile devices, and so the ones that we find a lot of clients using is just the one product. And if you're doing a one product, one thing that works well, you really can use either one of these. This one was more designed specifically for mobile, since most traffic out there is mobile. But as you can see, when I select it, even on the desktop, it's gonna look great just fine. It's still gonna pop up big on the page, but it was designed kind of more for mobile. So this is the one that we're gonna use. So we're gonna choose this template. One thing that's great with Ampry is anything that you click on anywhere, it's going to take you to the design section to tell you, what you could do to change the design. So the general is just going to cover really all of the general stuff, the background overlay. This is the background color. You'll see this blue color on the background here. So you can set padding at max width. Obviously with a mobile device, there's a max width. So even if we were to change that to something different than 450, it's not going to really make any changes to anything. But let's just say one thing I want to do is just make the background white. I'll just show you a couple examples here. Change it to white. You'll see that got rid of the headline. So we need to go in and change the headline color in here. So we can change obviously the font family, any of those things, font size. We're just going to leave this one as is for now. We'll just use Poppins. You can left align, right align, do all those things, change the font size like I said. Let's go ahead and just change the color. We'll just make it red just so you can see here. Obviously we can change it maybe to a darker blue color, since that's the button color. And obviously you can match colors as well. So you'll see this subheadline. We click into the subheadline, we see the subheadline color. Maybe we want to just match that on the headline. So we'll come back to the headline and just put it in the hex code, and it will update that automatically. So you'll see as you make these changes, it's going to update these fields here. Once you kind of have your general design on the section, that's where you're then now going to add your specific content. And so that's where this comes in on the side. We're going to add the content here. You'll see that it auto-fills with our placeholder text that you can just go ahead and update, image, everything. And then as you're adding your text, you might see that you need to change the font size so that things fit on 1 line or 2 lines or whatever. And then you can just go back here and select the headline make the adjustment to the font size so that it all fits and looks good and is all on page how you want it to be. So that's really it. We have videos that talk more about design and go into some of the specifics. But like I said, this is just it's just updating these fields to specifically what you want. The biggest thing here that we're going to cover now, really, after you've gotten in your images, put your text in, everything like that, is the add to cart. You can change the button. This one says add to order, so you can add to order, add to cart, however you want to word that, or the no thanks button. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add in so what I'm going to show you is how to do it with Shopify, and what you're going to do is add in the Shopify link that will add it to the cart and then take you directly to the cart page. So what we're going to do is, what we need to do is find the variant, which is going to be the product that we're going to actually be adding to the cart. So you're going to go to the actual product page for that variant, for that product that you're using as the upsell. I'll show it to you here on the main one, but this isn't the variant you want. You'll want to go to, there was the strap ones for this specific website. So you'd want to go to that strap product page. And then what you're going to do, there are a couple ways that you can find the variant ID, which is really the product ID. Depending on the domain and the website, the template that they're using, the variant ID might just be right in the URL, and you'll see it is for this specific website. So one thing that you're going to need is that variant ID. Another way to find the variant ID is if you inspect, like we showed you before, right click and then click on inspect. And then what you can do is hit Control F, which is going to bring up a bar to find. And we're just going to type in variant. And you'll see it's got a lot of options here. We're going to click through them and find the right one. So this is another way you can do this, is find the variant ID right here. So Shopify payment terms variant ID 315, and you'll see that matches there. So this is another place you can find the variant ID. Another really easy way to find the variant ID is to go to that product page, remove everything at the end with the question, everything after the question mark, and switch it to .xml, and then hit enter. And what that will do is bring up the XML coding for the page. And if you look at this variant section that's right below the top section here, it will have that variant ID right here as well that you can just copy. And so what we're going to do, let me just show you on a notepad here. You're going to put your domain. So we'll just, for these purposes, we'll put wander.com. That's the domain of the client. We're going to do /cart/add. Actually, I already have it pulled up here. It's just going to be this right here. I forgot that I had already created that. So .com/cart/add, and then you're going to add in the question mark ID equals, and the ID that you're putting in obviously is that variant ID, and then and quantity equals 1. So this is the domain that you're going to add in the destination field here. That's going to, when they click on that, it's going to add it to the cart, and then you'll see by the URL we're taking it in Shopify after the URL cart / that's what takes you to the cart page. And then this add is what is going to add the product into as another product in there. And then the no thanks button, there are a couple things you can do here. One, you can just have it close. So you can switch it, instead of redirecting, you can just have it close so it keeps them on the page. The other option is just to take them to the cart page, since they don't want it. They do want their one product, so you can just put in the actual cart to take them right to the cart. So whatever your destination URL is to take them to the cart, since they've already added one thing to the cart, taking them to the cart if they say no thanks is great to do. And that's really all you're doing. The last step here, if you want to create more pieces of content to split test, so say you want to use a different headline, subheadline, you can easily clone the piece of content. You'll see there's now 2 pieces of content on here, and this copy, you can rename all of these obviously, but this copy, maybe you just want to change the headline to say something different in the headline. You can change up the headline and then just split test and see if there's a certain headline that works better. Obviously, if you have multiple products and you want to split test one product versus another and do it with one product, then you can just change up the image destination URL to that other product, and that would be your split test. Last thing that we're going to cover on here is targeting. There's not, for this specific placement, there's not a lot of targeting that you really need to add because it's going to be done on the click. But if this is something that you want to only offer to new or returning customers, so if you don't want your returning visitors to see this, then you would want to just click for new, and then returning visitors wouldn't see that when they click to add something to cart. But so there are a couple maybe simple options, but overall you're going to want to keep your targeting pretty open here. The only other thing I'd say is if you want this just to show for like mobile and you're going to create another pre-purchase upsell for desktop users, then you would make that change here. But like I said, all of our templates really work with mobile or desktop, so you shouldn't need to specify. And then you can go ahead and create that and save that in, and that's when I'm gonna obviously not save it on my end, but you would, because we already have one created here. So then you'll see that here created, it'll have your content on there once it's created, and then you'll be able to start using the split testing. As long as you have the Ampry pixel on the page, it will go live as soon as you turn that online. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.